Uh-oh. I apologize. I hit the wrong one. There we go. I apologize again, but I'm trying to get it together. We're gonna get it together. This is the Sourceseeker Hour. I'm your host, Baruti Carl Alexander, and I was trying to do a new device, but sometimes you gotta practice a little bit more and make sure you get it right. I'm gonna cut it off here for a second. I apologize. This is the Sourceseeker Hour. I had a new opening that I was working on. But when you are doing live podcasts, sometimes the technology doesn't go right. And that is what our show is about today. Working online, working with technology, and trying to make things work, and then having to deal with all the scams, tricks, games, everything that is possible online. And it sometimes takes away from the experience or takes away from the possibilities. So that's what this show is about. And I have some very experienced guests on the internet. We just are joined by Councilwoman Murray, very experienced on the internet. Sister Kamaria, you speak on the internet. Brother Mo McCoy, you do a lot on the internet. Your films, Fireproof Films TV, you have to coordinate. So you all have a lot of experience working with online presence. And that's what we're gonna talk about. I want you to go ahead and introduce yourself. Kamaria, speak first, please.
Hi, good evening, everybody. I'm Kamaria Speaks. I remember doing another session with Councilwoman Murray.
Hey. Good seeing you.
And just long story short, I am a digital designer. I help people with websites, flyers, things of that nature. I'm a forever educator. So even if I'm not in a traditional classroom, I'm still very much engaged in the world of education as it and all it entails. And I'm also work a 9-to-5 inside sales, where I collect interviews from alumni across the United States, from HBCUs to BWIs to all in between. I absolutely love interviewing people on a day-to-day basis. So, and then when I'm not doing all of that, I'm involved with quite a few different business people. I network quite a bit. My most recent is a new group called Black in Business, which has 170,000 members, and they're all Black business owners. So I'm excited about the new venture.
You have a whole lot going on. Yes, yes. Boy, yes, that's a handful. Brother Mo McCoy, would you introduce yourself, please?
Hello, everybody. My name is filmmaker Mo McCoy. I'm from, I live in Las Vegas, Nevada, but I'm from Grand Rapids, Michigan. I got 3 new films out on Tubi, one called The Perfect Romance, one called Frequent Visitor, and the newest one is called The Bad Boxer. So check me out on Tubi, and have my own YouTube channel called Fireproof TV. And I also do a lot of social media marketing. I make TV commercials, logos, backdrops. We do everything when it comes to content. And I'll be working on a new film here coming up in November in Missouri City, Texas. So we're now casting for that new film.
All right, Mr. Mo.
Ooh, we got so much going on right here. Tell me those 3 films one more time.
The Perfect Romance, and then Frequent Visitors, and then the last one is The Bad Boxer. But
And on Tubi.
On Tubi. Tubi. It's a free network to watch movies on, and it's a lot of Black content on there. So if you don't have Tubi, go go online and put in Tubi.com or go on your Roku TV and watch Tubi. So everybody can access Tubi.
Yes, sir. Powerful. That's powerful. So much going on. And there's so many things we have to guard against just trying to do what we're trying to do. Tell us about that a little bit, Councilwoman Murray.
Look, at the end of the day, as you can tell, I'm just relaxed and chill because I'm always doing something. As he said, I'm an educator at HISD. I'm a councilwoman in the Brazoria County. I'm getting ready to run for Brazoria County District Clerk, the first Black woman ever in 83-year history. I'm grateful for that. I'm a Rotarian. I'm the mother of 5 grown kids. What else? I was just interviewed the other day on Isaiah Carey. We're talking about children and CRT, and then he interviewed me last month about Uvalde. So I'm just grateful for what God has allowed. I would never take the credit. We don't have that much wisdom to know where to go and who to trust. So at the end of the day, I am just grateful for where he's taking me, and I have to give him all the glory. Thank you so much, my former co-worker, Mr. Alexander.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I bet the ground shakes there in Brazoria County. Whenever you walk through, they say, there she go. There she go. There she go. You better watch out now.
I think I'm kind of hated, but that's okay. You know the demographics of Brazoria County. You're not crazy.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. I can see it. I can see it. I can see it. Well, I want to get into this conversation. It's so many happening. Let me tell you a little bit about my experience. I think I get at least 10 calls per day. I get so many different requests online for friends. And then I think it's a friend and I click on it and the first thing they say, well, how are you doing? And do you have a Cash App? Hold up, wait a minute. You're not who I thought you was. But I tell you, I pulled out my credit card. It was during the COVID, and they had a LeBron James figure how many bells was in this box falling down, and no way you could count it, but some kind of way they convinced me that it was LeBron James actually running this charity and so forth. It was going to give those who guessed a certain amount. I don't know if y'all have seen that, but I had to think about it. Wait a minute. Didn't I just see him playing basketball in a pickup game? And wait a minute, would he be in this city when they say wait a minute. So I finally had to pull my money back. But you all get the idea. Some of these things are very creative.
You are
and they
so right,
always
Rudy.
are trying to clone our friends and people they think we will be susceptible to. So, Kamaria, go ahead and share that.
There's so many layers to this onion. I mean, there's just so many layers. But to peel back what you were speaking on, brother, there is the layer of, it could literally be one letter off. I've read horror stories of people giving money from an email campaign where it was literally one single letter between the real email and the fraudulent one. And so, it's like these scammers, they're getting more and more smarter every year. And you just have to really dig with a fine-tooth comb sometimes and make sure it's from the source and double and triple check sometimes. But I'm glad you were able to pull back in time for that particular instance.
I think that they are after me because I say, wait a minute, are y'all stupid or what? I'll tell them that, and I think they're out to get me and so forth. So I'm trying to watch and different things, but it's a challenge. You don't know who to trust.
And spread the word, Baruti. Spread the word with those in your community and your demographic, because there are others in your demographic who may not be aware that there are people out there trying to hunt in the DMs. So certainly spread the word.
Yeah, I do as much as I can, but they are very prevalent and they are consistent, very
Yeah.
much so. Brother Mo, what's some of the experiences that you have seen or heard or shared?
Oh, being a social media marketer, I've been scammed by every one you could think of. I'm like the test dummy of scamming. So I would say to protect yourself, this is what I've been doing with my Facebook over the last 10 years. Just really only adding people that I've met or someone that's referred to someone that I've met. That protects you for the most part.
But haven't they cloned somebody that you actually know, like
Well,
Brother Cat or somebody else?
yeah, they clone all kinds of people. But the thing is, you know how people talk. And if they ask you for your Cash App, that's a red flag right there.
Right there, yeah.
Yeah.
Very much so. I mean, they have so many. Have you ever heard that they have different places across the world where that's their business? That's what they do for a business, and it's legal in their country. Have you all heard that?
That's absolutely possible because you're on the World Wide Web. So, in real life, there's people who scam people. So even more on the internet and from all over the world. So it's got to kind of be on your P's and Q's. And also when people clone you, that's just a hard situation. So you got to really, before you send money online, just do your research. Just go dig deep. Nobody will ever ask you for your email if they're Cash Apping you. You don't need your email to Cash App. So
Yeah,
that's when
so.
you know you getting scammed, because I have no problem sending a Cash App every day, and they don't need my email. They need my cash tag, and then I send it. And
And then
I receive.
sometimes also to piggyback on what Mr. Mo is speaking of, like he said, they don't need your email to Cash App you. And then also these corporations are trying to get ahead of the train and get ahead of the fight and posting notices on their websites as well. They're saying, hey, we've noticed that we've been getting a lot of reports of this scam coming through. This is what you will never hear us asking you to do. So like Chase Bank or Capital One will say, we will never text you and ask you for your birth date or your full credit card number over a text. So they're some of these corporations are certainly trying to get ahead of the fight to try to address the scams that are out there.
That is a very important thing that most of them are doing. I know I constantly get security checks just to make sure things are okay. And I appreciate them because certainly a lot of things are happening and trying to happen. I want to talk about some of the culture of what we encounter on the internet. And I wrote an article about this, and it's interesting. The world of likes, loves, and attaching your like or love to something. And then how sometimes we're afraid to attach our like or love, even though we like or love it, but what might the person think? Anybody got any? Murray, I know one time I saw online where you said, if y'all don't like it, you don't have to read it. Don't be worried about me, how much I post every day. That sound right? You're on mute. You're on mute.
You're really paraphrasing, because I'm very mindful of what I say, but I can be very firm, because you got people that have their, like you said, their opinions or whatever. And I just feel like, basically, I say what I want to say on social media is on my personal page. Let me say that on my personal page. Now on my council page and on my other pages, I'm very mindful, but on my my personal, I say what I want, but I'm very mindful of what I say because I know many people are watching and they're following me. So I'm very mindful, but I'm always, you know that about me, Alexander, I'm always giving some form of messaging. And let me, and I wanted to go back. I didn't talk about earlier what the young lady said about the fraudulent, but you have to also know that you guys are going to have to, when you see those type of fraudulent issues, you need to screenshot it and send it to your legislatures. It takes all of that. People want to bypass it, and I know we don't like some of the issues going on in our government, but trust me, they got to be held accountable. So I just wanted to say that. That's number one. Number two, you're right what you said. I'm real clear. Like today, what's your name? Is it Mark? What's his name? Malone? McCoy? McCoy
No.
today. And I was saying that Judge Hidalgo, she's on my page, and I said one of my favorite judges, right? So then this guy comes on my page and just starts saying crazy stuff. I'm like, well, wait a minute. And I said, this is my opinion. I didn't ask you for that. That's just my opinion. So, and it's on my what? It's on my thread. So I just believe, don't come on my thread, eat me up. That just don't go well for me. So that's just my personal opinion. Go ahead, Alexander.
There's a lot of things that can happen online. I mean, I've been threatened before online. Yes, I've been threatened online.
Do tell. What happened? How?
Well, it got into the direction of a church and the direction of anger about the past and whether we should even go and even look at the past or whether we should just try to move forward without worrying about it. I don't want to be as specific because it couldn't make sense in an hour program because the craziness that people get upset about. People can get upset if you don't like what they have online or what you don't, what you present, they can get upset with that. There's so many different things about like and love, you know, just like you were sharing. If they don't like the person and you like them, then does that mean they don't like you? I mean, it's so crazy. Brother Mo, what you say about the crazy etiquette online?
Yeah, it's really weird. I really care less what people think. You know what I mean? You got to be you, you got to do you. They don't know what you're here to do. Everybody's different, you know. So the social media is set up for people to troll you. You know what I mean? So sometimes I just clear it out. Like if I don't want to see nothing negative, when I see it, I just block it right then. And then I keep it moving. Being in the position I'm in, I get attacked all the time. You know, people that I've helped, mostly people that I've helped, backbiting me on Facebook and going live talking about me. So I just block them. And then you're not in my world anymore. So yeah, so you got ways to defend yourself, and you know, people can like or love. I don't care what nobody say. You know, the Bible says love conquers all. So I love. I'm a love. If I like it, I love it. I'm just gonna love it. So if you see me online, heart. I don't care what nobody think. It's love. Love conquers all. So that's what I'm gonna show.
That is, I wish everybody had that mindset, that way of presenting on the internet. We certainly get along much better. But across the board, you have different kinds of, and I don't know, do we think that they're going to go to the fact of regulating the internet, regulating it? What you say about that, Councilwoman?
I was pointing at Kay Speaks. I want to hear from Kay Speaks. Let me hear from her, then I'll talk. Go ahead.
Okay, go ahead.
Thank you, Councilwoman.
You're welcome.
So, you know, Mr. Alexander, you know, you grew you grew up near in my community. You knew my parents. Arguing around the dinner table is what they did it for fun. I mean, we had our own little social media right there at the dinner table and going back and forth. And so I'm accustomed to people going back and forth on social media because I kind of grew up that way. You know, my dad was a political science minor in college. And so the reason I bring that up is because I love a great debate. And I could not say that someone's opinion of something that I shared, that I'm so passionate and feel deep in my heart, I can't say that it hasn't impacted me before, but I do try hard to think more like Mo and come from a place in a space of love. And when you can work harder at coming from that space, then you can clear out any of the harsh negativity online. And I will go on to say that we have to understand that these posts are going viral within seconds. And so it's really, really, I feel like the lines between a like and a love are getting blurred. And we just have to be really mindful of that. And it's one thing to disagree with someone, and it's another thing to straight out bully. And there's some Black bullies online. And I don't mind calling it out for what it is, because it exists. And I don't mind calling out our people when there's things that we can do as a community to improve and grow. And Black bullies exist. And something needs to be done. And we need to talk about that, because people are out here, they are depressed, you know, they are committing suicide, and it's not okay. There's one thing to disagree in a classy way. There's another one to just flat out bully.
Can you give us an example of what you're talking about with Black bullies? I mean, and we're gonna have a show about LGBTQ, and I hope I'm saying that right, and whether they have been treated too harshly or fairly, have they been bullies, so forth. But in a way, that's every community has bullies and different things. How are Black bullies more unique or more damaging?
So we have the colorism. We also have the fat shaming. So there's certain layers to the divide. There's also the LGBTQ divide as well. And so when I hear Black Lives Matter, I totally agree with it. I totally 100% agree. But there's also the idea of which Black life truly matters to you. You know, is it all of us, or is it just certain groups within our community? But, you know, that might be a part two to the conversation. But I thought it was important to include in there when you mentioned likes versus loves of posting. And I thought it was an interesting topic to include, because when people like and love and it goes viral, sometimes the viral is positive, but a lot of times it's making fun, it's negative, and it's bullying.
But I also think she's absolutely right, but I also think it's what you allow on your page. If you see that type of behavior, like I did, when somebody says something inappropriate on my page, I delete them. You can delete their comment. So if I've said something of a positive nature and somebody comes back with the negative overtone, I delete that comment. So you can do that, because this is where we got to be real. If it's a bully in real life, it's gonna be bullies on the internet. I was at an event yesterday with Beto, and I'm not ashamed to say that. And the Abbott's supporters, they were very aggressive, mean, and bullyish. And this is what I told
you were with Beto.
Beto, yes, at Lake Texas. Okay. Yeah. And so they were really, this is what hurt me the most. In Brazoria County, I'm not afraid to say this, the cops did nothing. Now, when Beto comes to Harris County, they set the parameters with that safety net, if you will, Mo, in case speaks. But yesterday they didn't do that in Brazoria County. So a person came to me, and this is what I told the person. She was just very visceral, bullyish. if you will, Case Speaks. I said, look, you can have your opinion, I can have mine, but you're not going to harass me and you're not going to get in my face about it, because I'm not doing that same thing to you. You can have your beliefs. See, that's the difference. She said something that's so true. I'm gonna hit every paradigm. You are right. There is issues with which Black Lives Matter. Let's be honest. We live in a society where, I'm just gonna say it, and I'm just being real. I got light-skinned kids, but we live in a society where, you said it right, people favor more the light skin than the dark skin. So it's the parameters go very well deep, and I don't want to go there. But my point is, there are bullies in every walk of life. You have to call it out. And she was shocked that I pushed back at her. And these Trump, I can't say it, these Trump Republicans, I don't have no problem with them. Just don't come and dog me out because of my beliefs. If you want to believe what you believe, I'm okay with that. But don't come and try to intimidate me. And you're right. So I have that same mindset, Case Speaks, in dealing with and I'm gonna be done. I'm big on 2 minutes. Let everybody talk for 2 minutes and move on. I'm big on how you treat people, because what you do, Mo, it comes back, and it's coming back at you quicker, and it's coming back real. So that's all I wanted to say, guys. You have to stand up. You said the key word, Case Speaks. It's got to stop. It's got to, the bullying between the light skin and the dark skin. The women want to fight over these men. Stop all of this bullying mindset and just do what's right. And I'm done.
Thank you.
Well, we say good luck with that as far as human behavior. I mean, I just got to say, because what is done in society is going to be reflected on the internet. So if you got problems between relationships in society, you're going to have them on the internet. And bullying, just like you're saying, you're going to have that on the internet also. And you can, yes, delete them. In this particular case that I had, I just kind of stopped giving attention to the person, but also reported them to the admin group, and kind of things just took care of themselves. And actually the person ended up having an issue themselves that they had to deal with. So, usually, just like in life, things work out, usually. What is, Brother Mo, how about your experiences on people trying to bully, present a bad light, and if a business or somebody really tried to do that, they could have a real serious impact on somebody's life or a community, let's say. So what do you say about that?
Well, I have a crazy experience with bullying. My movie, The Bad Boxers, covers bullying. I did a kids movie called Spring Break. That's a movie about overcoming bullying. And I've experienced that growing up. And how I feel is just, I did a movie called Push Back too. Sorry, that's my grandson going crazy. Yeah, but I did a movie called Push Back, and sometimes you got to push back the bully. You know what I mean? So I like to put that kind of content in my films to show people how to overcome it, different strategies. But I've been bullied online, offline, by even actors that's in my movies try to bully me online. People I helped, again, try to bully me online. I'm gonna beat you up. I'm gonna come get you. And I still show up to my event ready. Because if you come bully me, I'm gonna push back. The movie says what I would do. But I'm not the type that's gonna argue back and forth. No, because other people are watching too. You know what I mean? And so, it's always two sides to a story. I just have to cut it off, because if you can't talk civilly, and I'm 45 years old, I look like fighting, I use my mind to overcome pretty much anything nowadays, So
we really never got deeply into this, but before we go, I certainly want to really discuss this. What do we think the future of the internet? And just years ago, the big thing was MySpace. Then of course, Facebook started, that kind of blew all of that out the window. Now Spotify is there a little bit. Twitter's always going to be there. What's the next big thing? What is the future? Brother Mo, what you think?
The future is Roku, and Tubi. That's the future right there. Tubi.
Why?
I like Tubi because it's growing, it's free, and they're letting content get on there, and content is king.
But that's for the filmmaker. Is it tied to the internet also?
Well, yeah, if you're gonna promote your movie, you're gonna have to promote it online, on the internet, in person. I just came off a tour for my movie, The Bad Boxer. I went to 7 different cities.
Wow.
And showed it, and I told everybody about it, showed it on the screen, promoted it everywhere. So now I got a group of people from each city that, you know, are looking forward to the next movie, and they watched it on Tubi, you know, right away. So
I want to make sure I ask you this before we get off of this. On one of the last episodes we was together, we also talked about what are they, NFTs?
mhm.
Non-fungible, I forgot what they are stand for, but how is that going to impact the internet? How is that going to impact what you're trying to do?
Well, I think NFTs are just, you know, it's something that you might have to get into, you know, in the future, but just study it. Just keep studying it, because it's going up and down. And the metaverse is gonna be huge. That's gonna be absolutely huge, because now they're, you know, building the world inside of your mind, connected to your eyes and your visual. So it's just I just want to learn it, you know. So I can't
Yeah,
be
that's where we
I'm
got
not
to
an
start.
expert
We
on
got to
it yet.
start by being in the game.
Yeah,
We definitely have to
absolutely.
start by being there and not saying, hey, this is just too smart of a world, it's too complicated.
Yeah.
They've always encouraged us not to think and not to read and not to understand, but
Yeah.
we cannot accept that strategy.
Yeah.
Kamaria, what do you think about the future?
I don't know what's to come of the future technological wise, but I'm excited and scared at the same time.
What are some of your, beyond being a broadcaster, what are some of your future things that you might see coming up that you might want to do?
Well, certainly, I've always wanted to do be in a talk show space. And the beautiful thing is you don't need Oprah money to start a talk show. I mean, you can hop on YouTube and start your own channel tonight.
As Wendy says, you know, she gonna do much better than her regular show. I mean, I don't know if anybody can, she can, but she coming from a place where we don't necessarily know what's going on.
Yes. And so I just, you know, I try to spend time with people who are in a similar space, who have a little bit more experience than I do with shooting the short videos, whether it's on a YouTube and, you know, just a professional business space. I try to spend a lot of time with them, learning from them, growing with them. So when I am ready to take off, it will be professional and it will be seamless.
Understood.
Yeah.
Before you came, I'm gonna try this again at the end also. I had a little mistake problem coordinating my new opening with the beginning of the show. And it's sometimes different things. When I first started the Sourceseeker Hour, I messed up the first 2 shows. This is now show number 117. And this thing is still new. This is still new, this platform. Zoom is still new. All of this is still new, and they still bringing in different things. So we can still grow with it. And it may be one day where what I do right here can come right there on the television set also, live. And of course, we know it can come live, CNN and them do it all the time. So what do you think, Ms. Murray, about the possibilities. And did we ever go into regulation? What about regulation? Somewhere along the line, I believe regulation has to come in. It's not just going to be left to Mark Zuckerberg or Elon Musk to make those decisions, but they're going to have to get feedback and okay from the government. What do you think?
You know, I think eventually we're gonna eventually look like, if the world doesn't end before God, let me say that if God don't come back before, let me say it like that. If Christ don't come back, but I think it's gonna look like a Jetson, the movie, the cartoon, the Jetsons. We're gonna eventually emerge to that type of I think framework when we're making decisions, and I gotta go there, I got in tied all in. When we're making decisions on council, I have to think about something. You have to think 20 years ahead, 30 years ahead. And I've always said when we were doing our comprehensive plan, a lot of people focus on today, but you got to focus globally in a global mindset and a mindset of, like you said, Mr. Mo, is technical, being very technical advanced. That's very, very important. And so I think that's where it's going to eventually migrate to. It's going to get there. I think we're going to eventually, and I don't know if y'all remember the cartoon, The Jetsons. I know you remember, Mr. Alexander. It was Space Age. Yeah, it's going to eventually, we're going to eventually look like that.
Okay, well, that is a powerful thing. But I tell you, what we first started out with is talking about scams, talking about different frauds, and whatever we come up with, even in NFTs, there are going to be different people that are trying to exploit us and take advantage of us. So that's always going to be a concern. I wanted to read this. I wrote this today, and I wrote this for myself. I must understand there is a sensitivity to using all these electronic gadgets. There are so many scammers everywhere. Our show today is about this. I must learn to be sensitive when people are hesitant to communicate, or perhaps even they have an aversion to it online or electronically. And I was writing that to the group that I work with, but it's true across the board that some people don't even want to come on Facebook because they are very concerned about the world of likes and dislikes and people knowing their business and all of these particular things. And how many do we think are on the internet that participate? I say maybe even 25% of the Black community is not on there, even though it's still very important part of our life, but there's so many people that are concerned about, hey, they're gonna get into my pocketbook, they're gonna get my card number, and all of those particular things, and it's gonna take time for everybody to get past that. I think, and I'm coming to you, I think it may be even greater than 25%. Okay, Murray?
But it's all about your mindset, though, Mr. Alexander. It's a person's mindset. I know that as mostly elected officials, from the lowest of the totem pole to the highest, they have to have social media. And social media isn't bad. It's the content that you place that can be bad. And we got to get that out their mind frame. I know a lot of people I couldn't reach knocking on doors, Mo. I have to use social media because internet goes places I can't. So it depends on the mindset and the use of it. Do I like seeing social media? Let me just say it. Do I like to see the inappropriate porn, the inappropriate twerking? No, I don't. That's bad. I think it's bad personally because that stuff can never be erased. And so you twerking at 26 and your kids see it at 56, and that's something they'll never forget. So it's how you use the medium. It's how you use it.
And there's going to be risk just going around the corner to the store. And, you have to deal with those, just like you have to try to get past and work past the threats and the different things that are on the internet. So I totally understand. Kamaria, what do you think as far as regulation? Is there a way to make it fair, good, keep people in check, where people don't rile up and become agitators and every different thing?
Hello, listen, brother. I'm glad you brought this up because when I'm just glad you brought this up because when you asked me what do I see in the future, one of the first things I thought of was change. And I really think that having proper legislation in place to address internet crimes needs to be improved and increased. Now, yes, it may be difficult to prosecute given the, first of all, the sheer volume of scammers, the difficulty tracing exactly who was doing the scamming. There may be some difficulty involved there, but that might be an opportunity for some of those technological whiz kids to step up and get a pay increase and get a job with the government and go after these scammers. I think that, so long story short, in the future, I would love to see legislation to go harder after these crimes, like they go after those dog fighters that they be throwing in jail. You know, I like to see them go as hard for these internet scammers as they do for people who do dog crimes. Nothing against lovers of dogs and those families.
They did kind of do Michael Vick bad, though, I will say that.
Listen.
Brother Mo, what do you think about what can be a deterrent against some of the things that people do online? Are there any deterrents that might work?
Deterrence, I don't know what you can do about it. I think you just got to protect yourself and just, you know, you have total control over your social media. So when you see something, a red flag, get rid of it, block it. You know what I mean? If you see something you don't like, block that. And then,
let me ask this, companies like LifeLock, like Experian, are those worthy things, or you just really got to do it yourself?
I still leave it back to the actual person. Just do it yourself. Just protect yourself at all times, like you're in the boxing ring.
Right.
You're in the internet world, so just protect yourself and just move smart. Like I don't see any twerking videos no more, because I used to see a lot of them, and then I just started deleting them and blocking them. I don't want to see that, because like I'm sitting next to my grandchild and then a twerking video came. I'm thinking, like, every time I open my phone, is one popped up, and that was a big deal to me at first, but then I started deleting that and blocking it, and next thing you know, it was great positive content, you know, on my social media.
So once you started blocking it, less of it start coming to you and stuff.
Exactly.
So yeah, you just got to be consistent with them. I don't think there's no guaranteed way to stop the world of scammers, frauds. Let me finish by, I told you all one of the worst things that almost happened to me, thank God it didn't. What are some of the worst scams that you have ever seen, or we hope that you haven't been involved with it, but that you've heard about? Some of the worst scams that you've heard about.
I'm laughing at how many times you
with that? Go ahead.
Alexander, how many times you got scammed? Because you keep talking about these. You got it really, you got the scam how many times? One time?
Okay, well, I get tried every day. Fortunately, I haven't fallen for that.
Because you're talking about it heavily.
I did lose $300, but that was probably about.
I understand.
There's people that lost a whole lot more than that.
I lost $50, and they went and came in my inbox, but they put it where they wanted, you know, they will give me money on my Cash App, and I needed it, and so I thought I was gonna get it, and they didn't. And some kind of way they was like, well, if you give this, then I'll do that. And so Mo, for a minute, I had a weak moment, and so I said that'll never happen again. So we've all been scammed, you know, and you learn your lesson. So now I don't, no, I'm not giving you my cash app, but as K Speak says, I'm not giving you my email, I'm not giving you nothing. You give me the money, you send me the money. I'm not giving you nothing.
But they continue to try, and I guess sometimes it'd be so appealing, the way, the creative way that they come in and they say, hey, I'm your friend, or I got this cause or something, and it's so many different ways. So it's not easy to always just, now we are cynical and a little bit more worldly, but some people, they need a little bit more guidance with that. Brother Mo, we're gonna go ahead and finish up. If you would share how people can reach you, but especially share about the movie you have coming up and then the 3 movies you have out. And where can people go again to see those movies? And what are some of the ideals, in case you got a writer out there who wants to work with you and write a movie, he wants you to direct it, how can he go about that process? Go ahead, Brother Mo. You're on mute. You're on mute.
All right, first, before I do that, can I give a little story that might help somebody?
Sure.
I had a familiar person that was on my Facebook for years. And I posted one time, hey, any hotel hookups? You know what I mean? And they jumped on there and said, oh, I got a hotel hookup, and they looked up my stay. I was going to be in the town for about 2 weeks. So she got me a deal, $500 for the whole 2 weeks. And she's like, just cash app the money. So I cashed app it, and then she ghosted me. So that's why I put that rule in. If you haven't met that person in person, they could be on your social media for years, just waiting on the moment to just get you. They got me for 500, just like that.
A clone.
Yep. So, yep.
So you got for 500, huh?
Yeah. I told you I'm the number one guy.
Me, Murray.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I heard him, but it was a pretty girl. I already know that's why he got scammed.
No, she wasn't pretty, but she had that discount was looking pretty. Yeah. So I had a moment of weakness as well. So, don't feel bad. But yeah, my name is filmmaker Mo McCoy. My movies are on Tubi. That's TUBI. I'll post it in the chat too.
Yeah, I've been thinking all this whole time. Is it TOOBI or is it TUBI?
Yeah. So yeah, and then the easiest way to find the movies I have, just type in my name, Mo McCoy, and all of them will pop up in the search. And then if there's somebody that wants to work with me that has a story or a movie that they want to do, I have a full service production company called Fireproof TV Films. We make movies from the ideal to the screen. So I have a process where I make a movie in 30 days, which with this new film that I'm doing called Mo City, I'm gonna apply my process so that I can show people. And I'm also gonna be dropping a book called Mo McCoy Film School, and it's gonna have my process of making films in there. Now, this is going to really shake the film world, because nobody believes you can do it this way. But again, I got 3 movies on Tubi. I've made over 50 movies. So like, that's one thing they can't take away. And I use my process to make those movies. So yeah, so like to get a movie made,
brother.
Yeah, but for somebody to hire me to do a movie, direct or produce the movie, it's just I have a price key that I could share with them, and usually the lowest budget I can go with is like 30 grand to make a movie, because of just moving my whole crew and equipment around. It just takes a whole lot, but I've gotten it down to that lower budget so that it's affordable for people to make a film product that they can
your
take.
Price is your price.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's definitely gonna go up. But right now, this year, 2022, we're doing, we'll do it for 30 grand, and I do
Go
half.
ahead and put me down for that 30-year plan, and then we'll split up that 1,000 over 12 months.
Yeah, we could break it down in different I'm definitely, because I'm the CEO, I'm able to work deals and things like that. So especially if I see that the product could be something great,
Super
Yeah.
powerful, brother. As we
Well,
were
Mr.
sharing earlier,
Alexander, excuse me, Mr. Alexander, we're gonna have to get Miss Murray out of here soon, because I see she dressed up to go to her ball. She's ready. She is slaying.
Sis, I am
Yeah.
not, look, I'm just, I got my Nike hat on. I'm just Nike, I'm relaxed. I've never get a chance to dress down. Alexander, what we have to do is educate. We always dressed up, that you can't.
we survived.
So when I
Perfect.
get a chance,
She's golden, she's glowing. Y'all didn't notice that she's glowing.
and
Yeah.
it
I'm
is,
used to
look,
her.
Mo, it's not what she thinks. Trust me. If
You
I take
looking
this hat
good.
off, y'all go scream. I'm just saying, thank you,
All right.
Queen. You just as pretty as well, and you got the hair going everywhere. I am just clearly just tennis shoe down. I'm just relaxed, man. I just need, I'm gonna be running for office, and I'll say this real quick, and it's gonna be the election is November 11th. Remember, guys, vote your conscience. It's not about the party; it's about the person. So I just want to say that. So y'all, you vote and get it, whoever you vote for. It doesn't matter. And remember, guys. How do I say this? We keep talking about how bad people are. I don't have a problem with the people. I have a problem with the voters. If you're voting that bad behavior in, the voters are the problem, not the people. Thank you.
And we got to have us a political show to discuss candidates, to discuss issues, and we will right here on the Sourceseeker Hour. Brother Mo, I want to come back to you and say thank you for all the times that you have shared and you hit us in the right direction of understanding film work and the different things that you do. I thank you very much for joining us again. And as always, I'll be in touch and reaching out. And I appreciate
Don't forget about Kay.
I appreciate you. Murray, I'm not forgetting about her.
Okay.
I'm not, Murray,
Okay.
go ahead and do your conclusion and share what about the coming school year? What is going to happen in this coming? I know this is a long subject.
No, it's not.
We need a show about school.
Okay, we can't go back into this issue, but I got one question. Are they going to ever get the understanding that, okay, so many people have left the industry, and to keep us, they got to first protect us and then pay us more. They got to pay us more, the ones with certifications. Now, the ones that don't have certifications, bring them in, let them teach the class, but make sure we make a lot more so you can keep us with certification. Okay, Murray, what you say about that?
I'm going to reclaim my time and give Kay to talk for a few minutes, then I'll go after her. That's just what I do as a councilwoman. I can't help it. Go ahead. I just can't help it. Okay. Go ahead, Kay.
Kamaria, can you share whatever you would like to share about this presentation, and then whatever you would like to share?
Yes, sir. Thank you. So first and foremost, I'm down for the part 2 about the school system, and I have an idea for the theme. It should be, does money solve all the problems with the school system, and does money solve all the issues for the teachers coming back in this fall? That's my idea for the theme, brother. So let me know what you think about that. And then, yes, we do need a second show about the elections and about the major candidates. And I don't know if everybody's in the state of Texas in the room tonight, but we do need a second show about the elections coming up for November. And then
that's why I continue to what I've been having that conversation for 6 months, and we're going to finish it after this particular episode in whatever way we can.
Okay, good. So that's really all I had to say, brother. I already put my little contact info in the box. Okay. But for those who can't see the chat, again, I'm Kamaria Speaks. I'm at MissKamariaSpeaks.com. I've been working so hard on my website. So y'all just go window shop, even if you don't click on nothing. It's still under construction a little bit, but I'm proud of my website. So that's up. And that's really all I've got to say. I'm doing classes this August on building website, building the logo. Any things you need, I'm here for y'all to help with those needs. That's it.
And look, the piggyback, give me 50 seconds. First of all, it's Alexander, let me say this. Our prayers were answered when you were sick. I'm so glad to have you back. And we prayed for you. I prayed for you. Your former co-workers, we all prayed. So I'm just so happy. I love hearing your voice, and now you have no idea, because when we didn't hear it, it hurt us deeply. Then number 2, I'm almost done. It's so good to meet Mr. Mo, and Miss Pretty Lady K speaks. I always see her. So thank you for that. And what I can say, guys, is that we just got to pull together, work together. Mo, if you live in California, I know your legislatures talk to me. I can tell you who the best ones. Guys, and about the school year, I'm gonna say this. 50 seconds. I don't really want to go back. I have to go back because I need money. I'm worried about safety. I'm worried about the students. I'm worried about everything. And money doesn't cure everything, but I guarantee you, if you was paying us $100,000 a year, we would be teachers, me and Mr. Carl, we would stay a little longer. We'll take a little heat, but right now, our life is at stake, and I'm concerned, and I'm looking. I'm hoping I win, so I don't have to go back to work. So we'll see. But in the meantime, pray for our educators.
Yeah.
I think you speak for all, most of the educators that, hey, if we had something else making this much money, we wouldn't be going back there. So, I mean, that's just how it is. Well, this is our 117th episode of the Sourceseeker Hour. Thank you all. We're going to continue doing it. We have a lot of subjects to talk about. On our next issue, we are going to have why are costs so high and how to adjust. And then we're going to talk about many different things coming up. September the 15th, should marijuana be legal? September the 29th, should prostitution be legal? October the 6th, is it the let me say it correctly, is the LGBT community being treated fairly, or are they being attacked? So we have those shows coming up. I'm Baruti Carl Alexander. I thank you all. I appreciate my guests. We'll be back with you next time on the Sourceseeker Hour. Thank you.